Trevor During of Illumio at GITEX Global 2023. Let's hear from him. What challenges in the market is Illumio solving and helping solve?
Really, our focus is on helping organizations to maintain services while they're under attack. And this is really reflective of a shift in thinking within cybersecurity to move away from trying to stop all attacks and focus on surviving an attack. Because, for the last 25 years, people have been investing in security type technologies and we're still suffering those attacks. So there's a definite shift in thinking in the way that people address the problems of focusing on resilience, really, rather than just purely the security aspect.
I'd like to ask you why you are at GITEX 2023 and what are you showcasing to companies?
So, GITEX has always been a big event. I've been personally coming here for 30 years. And it's where everything happens within this region. And so what we're going to be showing and talking about is really the ability to do things like assess the risk in your business, to be able to protect against ransomware attacks, and also how to very quickly and easily secure your business if there is an attack. So they're the areas that we're focusing on.
So I'd like to follow up with how are you presenting or helping solve ransomware attacks for companies in the region?
Yeah, so what we do is that we make sure that if there is an attack, that it is contained. So a bit, imagine that a burglar breaks into a property and then they can't get out of the room that they've broken into. So that becomes very important for a lot of our customers, because what happens is you get maybe a phishing attack, and the unsuspecting recipient of that may hit the button and it detonates. So what we'll do is we'll stop that blast radius from getting at the most critical assets within the organization.
And my next question to you is, how would you define the concept of zero trust, and why do you place yourself as a specialist in zero trust?
Yeah, so zero trust is really about it's a different way of thinking. It's not a technology. It has been hijacked by vendors for many years. But it is really about doing the fundamentals well. So it's about things like identifying where risk is, and it's very much a shift from trying to put all your security into the network and much more focus on protecting individual assets and resources. So the concept of zero trust is that the network can't be trusted. So what we have to do is we have to protect each of the individual devices. So if you think about something as simple as a hospital, where there's lots of patients and they're using a coffee shop and they're doing all those sorts of things on the network, you really don't want to you want to keep all that very separate from the operating rooms or the intensive care. So it's that type of zero trust approach that gives you that protection.
How do you convince your clients to start thinking like this or about zero trust?
Well, there's several ways. A lot of the regulators are forcing people to think in that way. Whether they call it zero trust or not is a different thing. But you look at the local cyber resiliency regulations that came into place a few years ago. It starts to guide you down that route of taking a risk-based approach. And so that's the fundamental thing, is look at the risks that you're facing and protect your most important and critical assets first.
Have you had a hard time convincing people of that, or is it the other way around? They know the risks in the market and they're coming to you for a solution?
Yeah, I think it's becoming more like that. So maybe 4 years ago, people couldn't quite get their head around the idea. But I think what we've seen is with the growth in ransomware attacks, especially now with AI-generated attacks, that approach has to be much stronger. So everyone we talk to, they go, yeah, okay, I understand exactly what that does. So it's a very different shift to what it was a few years ago.
Thank you for bringing up artificial intelligence. I mean, that's one of the overarching themes of GITEX Global, right? And I want to quote Spider-Man here: with power comes great responsibility. With great AI computing comes greater threats and security to the system. So how can Illumio help enterprises deal with this absolutely new area of risk?
So I think there's two aspects to AI security. There's protecting AI from poisoning and all the things. It's a bit like, a bad person could come along and teach your child to swear. And you're trying to avoid that. So that's one thing. So you have to control the learning, what it's learning. The other side that less people talk about is where ransomware gangs are using AI to generate malware that can get around your existing technology, so your EDR and your all of that sort of stuff. And again, that comes back to doing the basics well, the basic hygiene. So if you can restrict the access from one system to another, then AI has a much more difficult time of learning where all the vulnerabilities are. If you can identify vulnerabilities and risk and protect them, again, you're stopping AI from learning how to attack it. So really AI, the answer to AI isn't more AI. The answer to AI is doing the fundamentals well.
You've really looked at the needs of the MENA region. So could you tell us something about the challenges that enterprises face over here when it comes to cybersecurity?
It's interesting because a lot of the challenges are very international now. So you have ransomware gangs that can operate anywhere. But I think one of the interesting things specifically for this region has been, over time, the rate of adoption of technology. So, when I first came here, no one could understand why you would want security, because there was very little crime. And I think what's happening here is that the adoption of technologies like cloud is very fast, probably faster than other places. The adoption of other technologies is very fast. So what you have to make sure happens is that as you transform your business, you're transforming your security at the same rate. And that's been a lesson that was learned in other regions that really needs to be adopted now. So if you are transforming your business, you need to transform your security at the same rate.
On that note, thank you so much for talking to Gulf Business, Trevor.